Usually when we think about a war declaration, we picture armies amassing at a border, right? Sirens, radar blips, unmistakable signals that something massive is coming.
Yeah.
But sometimes a global war starts not with an army, but with just a piece of paper and an empty parking spot.
Exactly.
Today, we are taking you on a deep dive into a comprehensive tactical report on the 1998 East Africa embassy bombings.
Right. And our mission here is to really explore how a single devastating day transformed modern global security and, to reveal the lethal dangers of bureaucratic information silos.
Okay, let's unpack this, because to understand the attacks, we really first have to look at the sudden evolution of the adversary.
Yeah, before 1998, Al-Qaeda operated essentially as a regional extremist network. But then in February of that year, they issued a fatwa. It was this mandate declaring it an individual duty for followers to kill Americans anywhere, anytime.
Which is wild, right? It's almost like a local turf gang suddenly announcing a hostile, multinational corporate takeover. I mean, they just completely changed their scale and ambition overnight.
Yeah, they really did. And what's fascinating here is why this strategic pivot to targeting the head of the snake caught the West completely off guard. The U.S. intelligence apparatus was calibrated for, local insurgencies.
Right, state-sponsored armies.
Yeah, not a decentralized, non-state actor projecting power across continents. I mean, the entire system was just looking for the wrong kind of threat entirely.
And that terrifying new global mandate manifested with brutal precision on August 7th, 1998. Two massive truck bombs, 450 miles apart, detonated within 9 minutes of each other.
The coordination was unprecedented for that era, but the tactical details of the two sites, Nairobi, Kenya, and Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, they were vastly different.
Wait, really? How so?
Well, in Dar es Salaam, a local water truck just happened to be parked right near the embassy, acting as a physical buffer against the blast. That sheer coincidence saved countless lives.
Wow. But Nairobi is where the cruelty of the tactics really shows, right? The attackers there actually threw a stun grenade first. And human nature being what it is, curious office workers in the surrounding buildings heard the noise and rushed to their glass windows to look out.
And that wasn't an accident.
No,
it was a calculated trap. Just as they reached the glass, the main truck bomb, carrying nearly a ton of explosive, detonated. The glass shattered outward, causing just horrific, widespread eye injuries and deaths. Over 200 people died, mostly local African civilians, and thousands more were wounded.
So what does this all mean? I mean, it feels impossible to me that an adversary could coordinate a ton of explosives across two countries without tripping a single U.S. wire. Did they outsmart our technology, or were we just completely looking in the wrong direction?
The tragic reality is that the intelligence was actually there.
You're kidding.
No, the CIA had been monitoring the Nairobi cell since 1996, and the FBI had its own separate intelligence. But they didn't connect the dots because of a legal and cultural barrier, literally known as the wall. Right. It was originally built with good intentions, to protect citizens' civil liberties from foreign intelligence overreach, but it warped into a total bureaucratic nightmare.
It's like having two analysts working on the exact same jigsaw puzzle from opposite sides of a solid wall. The CIA has all the edge pieces, the FBI has the center, and neither is legally allowed to know they are building the same picture. We even had the U.S. ambassador to Kenya, Prudence Bushnell, repeatedly begging Washington for more security funding because the embassy was vulnerable.
And she was told to stop nagging.
Exactly. By officials who were still applying old cost-saving logic to a rapidly evolving global threat.
And the tragic irony is that we didn't fix this wall in 1998, which paved the exact road to 9/11. The systemic inability to share information wasn't resolved, and 3 years later, those exact same blind spots were exploited.
Because we missed the intelligence, our reactions were entirely defensive and honestly flawed. Militarily, the U.S. launched cruise missiles in Operation Infinite Reach, but relying on outdated intel and delayed strike times meant they missed the leadership entirely.
Yeah, it basically just boosted the attacker's mythos as people who could survive a superpower's direct assault.
Right.
And architecturally, we completely isolated ourselves. We abandoned the accessible city center embassies of the past, opting instead to build massive blast-resistant fortresses located far outside urban centers.
Like bunkers.
Exactly. It's a cautionary tale for any modern organization today. If your departments are siloed by rigid rules, you aren't just inefficient, you are incredibly vulnerable.
Absolutely. And why should you, our listener, care? Because ignoring early warnings and tolerating internal communication silos are universal systemic failures we still battle today, whether in government or in corporate America.
Yeah, the cost of not talking to each other is just too high.
Which leaves you with a lingering question. By building these impenetrable fortresses to avoid another attack, has this zero-risk culture actually damaged international diplomacy?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, by completely isolating our representatives from the very local populations they're supposed to engage with, did we just trade one kind of vulnerability for another?